Because she thought the sun had got no business to be there.
After the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said.
Are you interested in Plato's Republic?
Well, I am Plato's Republic. I'll recite myself for you whenever you like.
Thank you very much.
Now, here's Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And here's The Corsair by Byron. She used to be married to a chief of police. Now, that skinny fellow is Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Where's Alice through the looking glass today? She should be somewhere about. Ah, now there's The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. He ate his book so they couldn't burn it. Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. Oh, you see the little blonde coming towards us. Watch her blush.
I'm Jean-Paul Sartre's The Jewish Question. Delighted to meet you.
I'm The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury.
Allow me to introduce...
Oh, may I? The Pickwick Papers, Charles Dickens.
Oh, Charles Dickens. Once I read a book he wrote. David Copperfield.
We have a David Copperfield amongst us.
He's with another group in the South. I Am the Prince by Machiavelli.
Oh.
As you see, you can't judge a book by its cover.
I am Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice.
I am Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice.
Both of you the same book?
My brother is Volume 1.
My brother is Volume 2.
It's a great pleasure to meet you.
We call the first one Pride, the other one's Prejudice. I don't think they like it much. Yeah, we're only 50 or so, but there are many, many more scattered around. In abandoned railway yards, wandering the roads, tramps outwardly, but inwardly libraries. Oh, it wasn't planned. It just so happened that a man here, a man there, loved some book. And rather than lose it, he learned it. And we came together. We're a minority of undesirables crying out in the wilderness. But it won't always be so. One day we shall be called on one by one to recite what we've learned. And then books will be printed again. And when the next age of darkness comes, those who come after us will do again as we have done.
I have one with me.
Yes?
What is it? Let me see. Tales of Mystery and Imagination by Edgar Allan Poe.
Learn it quickly so that we can burn it.
You burn it?
Yes, of course, we have to, so that no one can take them away from us.
Yes, we burn the books, but we keep them up here, where nobody can find them. As a matter of fact, we've just burned the Memoirs of Saint-Simon. You see, Montague? That man over there hasn't much longer to live.
He's The Weir of Hermiston by Robert Louis Stevenson. The boy is his nephew. He's now reciting himself so the boy can become the book.
I will be very quiet, replied Archie, and I will be boldly frank. I do not love my father. I wonder sometimes if I do not hate him.
I will be very quiet, replied Archie, and I will be boldly frank. I do not love my father. I wonder sometimes if I do not hate him.
There's my shame, perhaps my sin. At least and in the sight of God, not my fault.
There's my shame, perhaps my sin. At least and in the sight of God, not my fault.
How was I to love him? He has never spoken to me, never smiled upon me. I do not think he ever touched me.
How was I to love him? He has never spoken to me, never smiled upon me, and I do not think he ever touched me.
He was more afraid of death than of anything else. And he died as he thought he would, while the first snows of winter fell.
He was more afraid of death than of anything else.
And he died.
And he died while the first.
He died as he thought.
And he died as he thought.
As he thought he would.
As he thought he would, while the first snows of winter fell. I will be very quiet, replied Archie, and I will be boldly frank. I do not love my father. I wonder sometimes if I do not hate him. There's my shame, perhaps my sin, at least, and in the sight of God, not my fault. How was I to love him? He has never spoken to me, never smiled upon me, and I do not think he ever touched me. He was more afraid of death than of anything else, and he died as he thought he would, while the first snows of winter fell.
Ето бил господин молодых лет, чопорни, осенистый, который
I'm going to relate a tale full of horror.
De Saint-Simon, père de France, et de sa seconde femme, Charlotte de Louvois, Unique de Sully, de Diane de Boudot, première femme de mon père. Il avait tout,
Let us suppress it, there's not a chronic.
et pas de garçon. Il avait marié.
In Dulcinea del Toro.
Down. How much there is to tell.
At that moment, Mr. Pickwick frowned.